Good afternoon, Professor Bacon-Shone, fellow panelists, and all who joined at this conference. Thank you for having me today to tell you more about the work of the Lens Department on sharing of spatial data on COVID-19. When I first received the agenda of this conference, it really caught my eyes on this panel topic. This topic is exactly telling the story about what our department went through in the past year, when we worked on the COVID-19 dashboard to support the government to provide the latest situation of COVID-19 to the public. First of all, let me introduce the COVID-19 dashboard to you. When we were experiencing the first COVID-19 outbreak early last year, the government was racing to make the latest outbreak information available to the public, to help fighting the virus together and soothing the anxieties of the community with greater transparency of the pandemic information. In view of the urgency at that time, our department has worked with the Development Bureau to develop an interactive map dashboard for the Center for Health Protection, CHP, and we successfully launched the dashboard to the public in February last year. One of the main features of the COVID-19 dashboard is to show locations of the COVID-19 cases on a map, allowing the public to know where the confirmed cases are. And we have shared this confirmed cases dataset on our geodata store free of charge. Users can download the whole dataset or only the confirmed cases in the past 14 days. To show the locations of the confirmed cases on the map, we need to convert the textual addresses published in the CHP website to spatial data using some type of geocoding services, such as location search API from our department, and just lookup service API from OGeo, or geotagging the location on the map manually. Each service has its pros and cons, and they all provide a key to facilitate sharing of location of the confirmed cases. Which service to use really depends on the purpose of the application that use the geocoded locations. Now, let me introduce two identifiers that could be used for virus notification. The first one that I would like to introduce is geoaddress. Geoaddress is a code of 19 digits. It is designed as a key to match textual addresses of different descriptions to facilitate effective sharing of address information. Since the code contains coordinates information, we can use it to locate an address on a map very quickly. But I want to emphasize that geoaddress is an identifier to linking address record, not buildings. Take a look at these two examples, North Point Government Primary School and Cyberport 3, which involve multiple buildings in their locations. In these two cases, geoaddress cannot precisely tell us which building a confirmed case belongs. Geoaddress is only good for sharing of address-based data. Now, let me introduce another identifier called Building CSU ID to you. It is a unique building identifier to facilitate the exchange of building data among government departments. The structure of Building CSU ID is the same as the geoaddress. The only difference is that Building CSU ID is an identifier associated with an individual building, not an address. Then you may ask, can I use Building CSU ID as a common key for sharing of virus information? The answer I will say is yes and no. You can use this in most of the cases that relate to a building. Let's take a look at these two real examples of COVID-19 cases. The construction site of Zhangbano 19 Tunnel and the soccer pitch at Moores Park do not have building structure. In these two examples, we will not be able to provide Building CSU ID for locating the cases on the map. Instead, we manually geotag their location on the map. Besides, we may not provide Building CSU ID to some buildings with confirmed cases. For example, buildings of individual bungalows or village type of houses. To protect the privacy of the individual confirmed cases who live in standalone bungalows or village type of houses, this building will not be geocoded or shown on the map. In other words, the Building CSU ID will not be provided for those cases. In order to show this type of confirmed cases on the map, we normally adopt the grid coordinate of the corresponding villages or roads to represent the cases. In short, different types of unique identifiers serve different purposes of different applications. LANSD and other government departments have long been using building social ID to exchange building data. It might not fit well with all the cases when it comes to applications such as virus notifications. However, the concept of using the coordinate component as part of the unique identifier could be applicable to the exchange of location data for virus notification. And this is what I want to share with you this afternoon. Thank you.